before.
I did not think you could remember, Mrs. Schiller.
My memory is under admirable control. And are you still a bachelor?
I believe so.
How very romantic.
Oh, I'm not romantic at all. I'm not old enough. I live almost in my seniors. May I ask, are you staying in London long?
That depends, partly on the weather, partly on the cooking, and partly on Sir Robert.
You're not going to Paris into the European war, I hope?
There is no danger at present.
You are very late.
Have you missed me?
Awfully.
I'm sorry, I did not saw you either. I like movies.
How very selfish of you.
Oh, I'm very selfish.
Lord Goring, you're always telling me of your bad quality. I think it looks great.
I have only told half of them exactly, Mabel.
Really? Are the others very bad?
Quite dreadful. When I think of them at night, I go to sleep at once.
Well, I delight in your bad qualities. I wouldn't have you part with one of them.
Oh, very nice of you. By the way, I want to ask you a question, Miss Mabel. Who brought Mrs. Shirley here?
I think Lady Margaret walked on. Why do you ask?
I haven't seen her for years, that's all.
What an absurd reason.
All the reasons are there.
What sort of woman is she?
Oh, a genius in the daytime and a beauty.
I dislike her already.
That shows your admirable taste.
May I have the honor of escorting you to the music room, mademoiselle?
Delighted, Viscount, quite delighted. Aren't you coming to the music room?
Not if there is any music coming on, Miss Mabel.
The music is in German, you will not understand.
Well, sir, what are you doing here? Wasting your time as usual. You should be in bed, sir. You keep too late hours. Can't make out how you stand in this society. The thing has gone to the dogs. A lot of them. Nobody's talking about nothing.
I'm not talking about nothing, Father. It is the only thing I know anything about. Oh, good evening, Lady Battelino.
Are you here? I have no idea you ever come to political parties.
I adore political parties. They're the only place left of us where people come to politics.
Indeed.
I see Lord Goring is in that camp of the enemy as usual. I saw him talking to Mrs. Shively when he came in.
Handsome woman, Mrs. Shirley.
Please don't pressure the women in our presence. You might wait for us to do that.
Well, we are not gonna praise her. I hear she went to the opera on Monday night and told Tommy Rufford at supper that as far as she could see it, London society was entirely made up of Dundies and Dundies.
She's quite right too. The men are all dowdies and the women are all dandies.
Are you sure that is what Mrs. Shively meant?
Of course. And a very sensible remark for Mrs. Shirley to make too.
What are you talking about, Mrs. Shively? Everybody's talking about Mrs. Shively. Lord Goring said so. What did you say, Lord Goring? Oh, I remember that she was a genius in the daytime and a beauty at night.
What a horrid combination. So very unnatural.
I like looking at geniuses and listening to beautiful people.
That is more with the few, Mrs. Marchmont.
It's more, Mr. Hampton, I have a great desire. Lord Goring, will you give me some supper?
With pleasure.
How horrid have you been? You have never talked to me the whole evening.
How could I? You went to talk with the child diplomatist.
You might have followed us. That's what you can only leave the light. I don't think I'll have read all this evening.
I like you, Nancy.
Well, I wish you showed in a more marked way.
And are you going to any of our country houses before you leave England, Miss Shirley?
Oh no, I can't stand your English house parties. In England, people actually try to be brilliant at breakfast. That is so dreadful of them. Only dull people are brilliant at breakfast. And then the family skeleton is always reading from the family prayers. My stay in England really depends on you, Sir Robert.
Seriously?
Quite seriously. I wanted to talk to you about a great political and financial scheme. About this Argentine canal company, in fact.
What a tedious practical subject for you to talk about, Miss Shirley.
Oh, I like tedious practical subjects. What I don't like are tedious practical people. There is a wide difference. Besides, you are interested, I know, in international canal schemes. You were Lord Redley's secretary, weren't you, when the government bought the Suez Canal shares?
Yes, but the Suez Canal was a great and splendid undertaking. It gave us our directorate to India. It was necessary that we should have control. This Argentine canal scheme is nothing more than a commonplace stock exchange swindle.
A speculation, Sir Robert. A brilliant, daring speculation.
Believe me, Miss Shirley, it is a swindle. Let us call things by their proper names. It makes matters simpler. In fact, we have all the information about it at the Foreign Office, and I even sent out a special commission to inquire into the matter privately. And they reported the works are hardly begun. As for the money subscribed, nobody knows what has become of it. The whole thing is a second Panama with not a quarter of success that miserable affair ever had. I hope you have not invested in Miss Shively. I am sure you are far too clever to have done that.
I have invested very largely in it.
Who could have advised you to do such a foolish thing?
Your old friend, and mine.
Who?
Baron Arnheim.
Ah, yes. I remember hearing at the time of his death that he had been mixed up in the whole affair.
It was his last romance. His last but one to do him justice.
But you have not seen my chorales yet. They're in the music room. Chorales seem to go with music, don't they? May I show them to you?
I'm not in the mood tonight for silver twilights or rose-being dawns. I want to talk business.
I fear I have no advice to give you, Miss Shively, other than to interest yourself in something less dangerous. The success of the canal depends, of course, on the attitude of England, and I'm going to lay the report of the Commission before the House tomorrow night.
That you must not do. In your own interest, Sir Robert, to say nothing of mine, you must not do that.
In my own interests? My dear Miss Shively, what do you mean?
Sir Robert, I will be quite frank with you. I want you to withdraw the report that you intended to lay before the House on the grounds that you have reasons to believe that the commissioners have been misinformed or prejudiced or something. Then I want you to say a few words to the effect that the government is going to reconsider the question and that you have reasons to believe that the canal, if completed, will be of a great international value. You know the sort of things ministers say in cases of this kind?
Miss Shively, you cannot be serious in making me such a proposition.
I'm quite serious.
Pray allow me to believe that you're not.
But I am. And if you do what I ask you, I will pay you very handsomely.
Pay me?
Yes.
Miss Shively, I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean.
How very disappointing. And I have come all the way from Vienna in order that you should thoroughly understand me.
I fear I don't.
Sir Robert, you are a man of the world, and you have your price, I suppose.
Miss Shively, allow me to call your carriage for you. You seem to have been living so long abroad that you're unable to realize that you're talking to an English gentleman.
I realize that I'm talking to a man who laid the foundation of his fortune by selling to a stock exchange speculator a cabinet secret.
What do you mean?
I mean that I know the real origin of your wealth and your career, and I have got your letter too.
What letter?
The letter you wrote to Baron Arnheim when you were Lord Redley's secretary, telling the Baron to buy the Suez Canal shares. A letter written 3 days before the government announced its own purchase.
The affair to which you allude to was no more than a speculation. The House had not yet passed the bill. It might have been rejected.
It was a swindler, Sir Robert. Let us call things by the proper names. It makes matters simpler. And now I'm going to sell you that letter, and the price I asked for is your public support of the Argentine scheme. You made your own fortune out of one canal. You must help me and my friends make house out of another.
It is infamous what you propose, infamous.
Oh no. This is the game of life as you will have to play it, Sir Robert, sooner or later.
I cannot do what you ask of me.
You mean you cannot help doing it? You realize you're standing on the edge of a precipice, and it is not for you to make terms. It is for you to accept them. Supposing you refuse.
What then?
What then? You're ruined, that is all. Scandals used to lend charm or at least interest to a man. Now they crush him. And yours is a very nasty scandal, Sir Robert. You couldn't survive it. And after all, why should you risk your entire future rather than deal diplomatically with your enemy? For the moment I am your enemy, I admit it. Years ago you did a clever, unscrupulous thing. It turned out a great success. You owe to it your fortune and your position. And now you have got to pay for it.
What you ask is impossible.
You must make it possible. You are going to make it possible. Sir Robert, you know what your English newspapers are like. Suppose that when I leave this house, I drive down to a newspaper's office and I give them this story and the proofs of it. Think of their loathsome joy, of the delight they would have in dragging you down.
You want me to withdraw the report and to make a short speech saying that I believe there are possibilities in this scheme.
Those are my terms.
I will give you any sum of money you want.
Even you are not rich enough, Sir Robert, to buy back your past. No man is.
I will not do what you ask of me. I will not.
You have to. If you don't.
What? Wait. You said you'd give me back my letter, didn't you?
Yes, that is agreed. I will be at the ladies' gallery tomorrow at 11:30, and if by that time, and you will have had heaps of opportunity, you have made an announcement in the terms I wish, I shall hand you back your letter with the prettiest thanks and the best, or at any rate most suitable compliment I can think of. I intend to play quite fairly with you. One should always play fairly when one has the reading cards. The Baron taught me that, among other things.
You must let me have time to consider your proposal.
No, you must settle now.
Give me a week, 3 days.
Impossible. I have got to telegraph to Vienna tonight.
My God, what brought you into my life?
Circumstances.
Wait, don't go. I consent. The report shall be withdrawn and I will send for a question to be put to me on the subject.
Thank you, Sir Robert. I knew we should come to an amicable agreement. I understood your nature from the first. I analyzed you, though you did not adore me. And now you can call my carriage for me. I see the people coming up from supper, and Englishmen always get romantic after a meal, and that bores me dreadfully.
Well, dear Miss Julie, I hope you have enjoyed yourself. Sir Robert is very entertaining, is he not?
Most entertaining. I have enjoyed my talk with him immensely.
Yes, he has had a very interesting and brilliant career. And he has married a most admirable wife, I'm glad to say. Lady Tudor is the woman of the very highest principles. I, myself, am only not old enough to trouble about setting a good example, but I always admire people who do. And now, my dear, I shall say good night. Good night, Gertrude.
What a charming house you have, lady children. I have spent a delightful evening. It has been so interesting getting to know your husband.
Why did you wish to meet my husband, Mrs. Shively?
I will tell you. I wanted to interest him in this Argentine international scheme of which I have said you have heard. And I found he was susceptible to reason, I mean. A rare thing, a man. I converted him in 10 minutes. He's going to make an announcement tomorrow in the house. We must go and hear him. It will be a great occasion.
There must be some mistake. That scheme could never have my husband's support.
Oh, I assure you, it is all settled. I don't regret my tedious journey from Vienna now. It has been a great success. But of course, for the next 24 hours, all things are that secret.
A secret between whom?
Between your husband and myself.
Your carriage is here, Mrs. Shively.
You should go to bed, Miss Mabel.
Sorry.
My father told me to go to bed an hour ago. I don't see why I shouldn't give you the same advice. I always passing with advice. It is the only thing to do with it. It is never of any use to oneself.
Lord Florian, you are always ordering me out of the room. I think it most courageous of you, especially as I'm not going to bed for hours. Oh, what it was? Someone dropped a diamond brooch. Quite beautiful, isn't it?
I wonder who dropped it.
It's a beautiful brooch.
It is a handsome bracelet.
It isn't a bracelet, it's a brooch.
It can be used as a bracelet.
What are you doing?
Miss Mabel, I'm going to make a rather strange request to you.
Oh, pray do. I've been waiting for it all the evening.
Don't mention to anybody that I have taken charge of this brooch. Should anyone write and claim it, let me know at once.
That is a strange request.
Well, you see, I gave this brooch to somebody once, years ago.
You did?
Yes.
Well, then I shall certainly bid you good night, Lord Goring. Good night, Gertrude.
Good night. You saw whom Lady Martin brought here tonight, did you?
Yes, it is an unpleasant surprise. What did she come here for?
Apparently to try and yell Robert to uphold some fraudulent scheme in which she was interested, the Argentine Canal, in fact.
She has mistaken your man, hasn't she?
Oh, she's incapable of understanding an upright nature like my husband.
Yes, I should fancy she came to grief if she tried to get Robert into her toils. It's extraordinary what astounding mistakes clever women make.
Oh, I don't call women of that kind clever. I call them stupid.
Same thing often. Good night, lady children.
Good night.